Tahko, you have just arrived at the outskirts of Bryn Shander.
All right. Is there a guard on duty at the gate?
There is, yes.
All right. I'll tromp up through the snow and approach them. Did a woman on an axe beak, come through here?
Woman on an axe beak. Not during my shift, but I only just came on.
Okay. All right. Do you know where I could find Zagrax?
Oh, yeah, he's training some of the East Haven lot. You can find him in the main town square, or if he's not there, then one of the lads will know where he is.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll head on in.
Okay, so you make your way to the main town square. It's just straight down the main road. And leading a group of 15 or so people, Zagrax is there, drilling a couple of refugees from East Haven.
All right. I'll come marching up. Zagrax, can I have a word?
Oh, hello there. Fancy seeing you here. Keep up it, everyone. Go talk to one of my colleagues here real quick.
And then shall go over and walk over to Tahko. I assume at some point where we can talk off to the side where people don't overhear.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to find. You just make your way slightly off the town square.
Mm-hmm.
There will still be people around, but nobody that's like obviously just kind of eavesdropping.
And so, what you got?
A thief stole the pot.
Well, that's no good.
No, it's not.
How did that happen?
It was the speaker's secretary, Hazel. She had 3 other people hold him at knife point, and then locked them all in the dungeon in the basement. And then she rode off, which I believe here, although I wasn't able to track perfectly. Do you know who was on guard at the East Gate earlier today?
Do I know who was on guard at the East Gate earlier today?
I mean, you're not actively in the guard anymore, so probably not.
I assume I have the ins to go and ask.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go and ask, and you know that Sheriff Markham is very often in the town square anyway.
Okay.
And he would know.
I'm not aware of who is on the guard. I'm not, involved in that as much as I used to be. But we can go talk to the sheriff. He would know who's on duty, and I don't think it's very often that you would see somebody hauling a large pot around.
Well, it's in a box.
A boxed pot. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We can go talk to him. He's normally in town hall. Let's go see if he's there.
Okay.
And off we go.
Okay, so I mean, you're basically just off the side of the
the
town square at the moment. So seconds later, you're standing before Sheriff Markham.
Let's travel. Boop, 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 boop. We've arrived.
Hooray!
Zagrax, how's the training going?
Doing good. Better than one would expect of some refugees who, very few of them haven't held a weapon before, but overall pretty good. But my friend here, who's a part of the Dawnbringers, had some questions for you.
Oh yeah, I remember you. Pleasure. You delivered some parcels, if I remember right.
Yes, that was some time ago. An object of mine has been stolen. The person that stole it left East Haven. I believe they went in this direction, but I was wondering who you had on guard last, so I could ask.
Last night would have been Jody, I think.
Would have been this morning, only a couple hours ago.
Yeah, that would have been Jody. She gets the red eye watch.
Okay.
Give me just a moment and I'll go and find her. Jody! Get her over here! And a second later, a very sleepy looking woman kind of stumbles out of the barracks. What? You know this is my time off. These guys want to have a word with you. They're the Dawnbringers, so treat them right. All right. How can I help?
Sorry to wake you. When you were on shift, did a woman come into town riding an axe beak?
I mean, lots of women come into town. What kind of time are we talking about?
A couple hours ago.
A couple of hours ago.
Was there anybody who happened to have a large box with them?
Actually, yeah, I do remember. She had a cloak over it, tried to hide it from us, but of course we saw that. She had some kind of cauldron in there.
Yes, that's stolen goods there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, you can report it, I guess.
Did she mention where she was going?
No, but she continued on a pretty solid clip just through town as far as I can tell.
Just through town? Or
Yeah. I mean, I only saw her for my part of the walls, of course, but that's what I would imagine. She looked like she was in an hurry, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Was it just her, or was there anybody else?
No, it's just her.
Yep, she's riding alone. Who was on the west gate? I asked the captain.
Well, that would be James. Poor sod's still there. Made him pull a double.
Okay. I'll go ask him if he's seen a woman ride out on an Axbeak. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Please spread the word among your guards to keep an eye out for this woman.
Yeah, we'll do. As soon as the next shift... Well, in fact... I'm not that cruel. Jody, you go back to bed. Yeah, don't worry, I'll sort this.
Thank you.
And with that, he kind of disappears within the barracks as well.
All right. I'm glad you're here, Zagrax.
Well, definitely seems to be glad I'm here too with this nonsense happening. One was
Damn
hoping
thieves.
that people would take this as a blessing and not try and hoard it for themselves or whatever they're doing.
Well, it's East Haven. That's a whole town of thieves. I shouldn't have expected any better.
Touche, you're not wrong there. Well, shall we head to the West Gate and
Yes.
ask around there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Give me a minute to talk to the recruits and then we'll be off.
So I'll just
Okay.
go and, like, give him another drill or two to go through and then head off with Tahko.
Okay, and like you have a sergeant or something else that you
Yeah.
basically taken over from previously, so he just kind of steps in and continues.
Okay. Cool. Off we go to the West Gate.
Off we go.
Okay, so as you head off to the West Gate, Zagrax, you don't notice this, but Tahko,
Surprising nobody.
It's good
There's
to have
a-
another pair of eyes.
Yeah.
there's a beggar by
Let me
the
know when you find them.
there's a beggar by the side of the road. She has a eye patch covering one eye, kind of at a slant, just a very rough, dirty-looking piece of cloth. She's got a crutch under one arm and holding a tin with a couple of copper coins in with the other hand, and she kind of shakes it towards you. Alms for the poor.
I'm sorry, my generosity's run out today.
Alms for the poor.
Do I happen to notice finally?
Yeah, you know exactly who this is.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Tahko, this is a friend of mine.
I think we've
Ooh.
met.
Yes. Yeah.
There are many generous souls around. I'm sure I would remember you. Good to see you back in Bryn Shander. Any news from the road?
Yes, a thief has stolen something of mine. You didn't happen to see a woman on an Axbeak, did you?
Come into my office. We can talk there.
All right.
And she just takes a step back and lifts a piece of cloth and then ducks under it.
So
Okay.
Zagrax falls without any hesitation.
I hope
Okay.
we have the right person or we're just about to get mugged.
So you follow after her. Her office is a hidden alleyway between a couple of close-built houses, the entrance completely obscured by the dark material. And as the cloth drops back into place behind you, you notice that another beggar has already taken the place where she was standing, a pan in their hand, and they're rattling coins to other passers-by. And turning around, she kind of looks around for a second and then pulls the eye patch away from her head. It's like, oh, that thing's been itching like crazy. A theft, you say?
Doubt it.
Yes. A very important magical pot.
Is the one you mentioned?
Zagrax nods.
Damn. I was afraid of this. Do you have any leads?
It was stolen by the secretary of the speaker of East Haven. That's a woman named Hazel. She's writing on an axe speak. She had 3 accomplices, but they didn't join her.
And does she wear a black sword around her neck?
Have I seen her wear a black sword or heard anything about it?
Roll an intelligence check.
All right. Intelligence. 12.
You don't recall her wearing one.
I'll just shake my head. I don't know. I haven't seen her yet.
Interesting.
Aside from once a few days ago.
And you chased her to Bryn Shander?
Yes.
We are only hours behind, according to Tahko.
And do you have any idea of where she may have gone?
According to the guard on duty, she came through the east gate and was making a fair clip towards the west gate. We were just on our way to ask around at the west gate to see if they saw her pass through on the way out.
Most likely going to Targos then.
Targos?
Yeah. If there is anyone in Targos that would know any of the goings on in that town, it would be the speaker, Death Maxil Danar. He would be the one
he does seem to have
inquire.
a hand in everything.
Why would she be going to Targos?
I don't know. I've had my suspicions about Targos, and it seems the most likely if she hasn't gone to Caer-Dineval.
All right.
And with a glance, she looks at you, Zagrax, a moment, and then kind of glances at Tahko, looking at you quizzically. One eye narrows.
He can keep secrets.
We suspect that there's a thieves' guild that operates in Targos.
Not for long.
Well,
he has his way. He's telling the truth.
Well, that's definitely where I would start then.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thieves Guild. That means that she's going to slink off somewhere as soon as she arrives. Damn, if only she had stopped here for a drink, I could have her by now.
Well, I know how quickly your group can move. If you keep going, you may well catch her.
All right. Thank you for the information.
Of course. Good luck. And with that, she kind of tugs the blindfold back down, and then she kind of says to you, if you keep going down this alleyway around the back, you'll go out of a different exit so people don't see that we've been talking.
All right.
Good luck. And then with that, she pulls the cloth up again, disappears underneath. And seconds later you hear, alms. Alms for the poor.
You have some strange contacts, Zagrax.
Yeah, well, pays to know him. Trust me.
Yeah, apparently. Are you willing to go with me all the way to the next town?
Let me just quick run back and double check with the sheriff. Will you go ask at the wall, and I'll meet you at the wall.
Okay.
I'll just make sure that he knows that I'm going to probably be out for a bit.
Okay, I'll check in with James.
Okay.
Do you think that the guard could provide mounts or a sled?
I have a thing for that.
At this point, I would assume that Tahko would probably know about my amazing ability.
You've never shown it off, so I doubt that.
Well, my idea was, and I probably should have mentioned this, is that before Zagrax is going to leave East Haven on said mount.
Oh, okay.
The idea, I had this a while ago, but Zagrax is going to be sleeping in, and then all of a sudden there's just Moose Boy outside when he wakes up, and he's like, "Oh shit, look at that, it's my mount boy," and then right off to Bryn Shander.
So you just found a random moose, and you're like, "Come on, moose, moose, moose."
Kind of. I have the good old second level spell, Find Steed.
Ah.
So I can summon said random spiritual mount, which we have agreed upon is a moose.
I do kind of like the idea, though, that you did just wake up one morning and there was just a moose outside your tent, just munching away at something.
Well,
it just never left.
It would have been outside the inn.
Yeah.
Just woke up and there's a moose in town, and everybody's kind of like, what? But the way the spell reads is you have what's the word I'm looking for? An instinctive bond with it that you're always allowed to fight as a seamless unit, and so you can talk, and it's just like you understand each other. So and while you're staying within 1 mile of you, you can communicate with each other telepathically, so that's fun.
All right, you have a telepathic moose.
Yes,
That's
all
right.
The command would be pretty simple though. It'd be like, "Come here." It wouldn't be like, "So, what are you seeing over there 1 mile away?"
Oh yeah,
now.
Oh yeah. Yep.
With your
It's
moose eyes.
It's a telepathic whistle, basically.
Yeah. What do your moose eyes see? Yep. And I have a feeling it'd be probably like the food, water, stuff like that comes through as well. But yes.
Fascinating.
But yeah, so.
I think we just need to grab a sled then.
All right.
I mean, I will. This is Tahko we're talking about. I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
If it'd been any other party
Tahko
member.
And me, so.
Yeah. That's got to be one. Well, I mean, moose are really big, but so am I.
Yeah, and you're carrying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am. I always am. All right. Please acquire a sled. I'll meet you there.
I'll see what I can do.
At the gate.
Okay. I will say that you are able to get a sled from Markham, and he's kind of resigned to the fact that you're an adventurer now and you could disappear at any moment, and he kind of just rolls with it. So yeah, he's fine.
Cool. Yep. And I'll make note of if I have downtime again, swing by again and do what I can.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he appreciates any time you do spend with the recruits. You know a lot of fighting techniques, which they clearly don't, and also just the morale boost is like, yeah, Zagrax is teaching us. Has a really big effect as well.
I'm special. But no, and then I'll, before I leave, go and just say a word to the recruits, encouraging of, hey, you're doing a good job, keep it up, and you'll be guards in no time, hooray, and then move on.
Roll me a persuasion check. Let's see how rousing this speech is.
Come on, man! Come on. I have a +6. It's one of my only good skills. Come on.
And you rolled a 4. Good job.
Yeah, I'm so sad.
Don't worry. I rolled a 1 when trying to track this lady at first.
That's fair.
Yes,
I probably
yes,
went, and it was probably more of I'm saying stuff, but you can tell that I'm definitely and very quickly trying to leave.
Yeah. It's like, hey, guys, you're doing well.
But it doesn't come across. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm just going to, for the sake of expedience, say that James reports that there was indeed a lady who rode through a couple of hours ago clutching this parcel. Didn't say anything. They just opened the door to her and she left.
Very well. All right.
I'm trying to decide whether I would have just gone and dismissed the moose or would have gone and probably put it at a stable. Knowing Zagrax, he probably would have just put it at a stable.
Just leave it outside the city. It's a moose. It can fend for itself.
Well, it's also a spirit, so it really doesn't need to do much of anything.
True.
But
I mean, I'm going to treat the spirit very similar to Drizzt's spirit animal, which it behaves like an animal. It's just that it disappears every now and then, back to the ethereal, like sleeping. It does in the ethereal.
yeah,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
That's fair.
Interesting.
It does the form of an unusually intelligent, strong, and loyal steed, creating a long-lasting bond with it.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as what Drizzt does with the cat, whose name I've already forgotten.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. Whatever. I'll just summon said moose out when we get outside the gate.
Okay.
All right. So you come pulling up a sled, and then you're like, telepathic moose. Blah, 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 and then a moose just shows up.
It's more the moose just kind of wanders over. So Tahko, you're kind of waiting at the entrance, and this moose just walks over and just starts chewing at some of the snow at your feet, and then Zagrax appears.
Zagrax, this is yours?
Yes. I gotta come up with a name for him, though.
Meese.
Huh. Well, okay then.
Fun, isn't it?
I guess. I didn't know you had an affinity for moose.
Neither did I. Learn something new every day.
Huh.
And then we'll go and hook up the sled to moose, get on moose, and off we go towards Targas, I guess.
Towards adventure.
Okay, and
Indeed.
just a heads up, when we play again tomorrow with the whole party, you will need to describe what the moose looks like, so think about that.
Yeah.
Aha.
Okay.
Whether it's wearing shades or not.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
so you set up the sled, and I'm going to need you to give me a land vehicle proficiency check, please.
Me or him?
Him.
I have proficiency in land vehicles.
Really?
Yes. Yes,
What?
I do. From soldier. Let's go.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Okay,
Yes.
then, what
It's
was this?
technically under tools, which I
Yes.
guess, but okay. But I have
Yeah, it's-
proficiency in land vehicles.
I
Okay.
didn't even know that was a proficiency to have. So
Neither did
that's-
I. It just showed up when I was setting up my character, and I'm like, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Huh.
my artificer has proficiency in air vehicles.
Wow. Huh. Fancy.
Very. Right, so what stat would this be? Strength?
I don't know.
Yeah, give me a strength proficiency, or strength land vehicles check.
Okay, so strength plus, so it'd be strength plus proficiency, which is a +3. Holy.
That's good.
So
I think you can just
Roll
click on it,
strength.
can't you?
I can't.
no,
I've tried to click on it. I can't click on anything. But there's a strength check, and then it's another 3 for proficiency.
It
so
should appear, then you have
26.
input value strength, then you just hit submit, and then it roll,
Oh,
like
Huh.
that.
I guess it's different for because I run it through D&D Beyond, so I think it's a little different.
Okay.
Wow.
Because, yeah, strength +4 plus your proficiency +3, so it'd actually be a +7.
Yeah, so it's 26.
26. You shoot off
Wow.
like you've been sledding or leading sled your entire life. The moose pulls it completely effortlessly, and I'm going to say that you move 50% quicker, like maximum speed for this.
Wow. Nice.
So,
Take that
Moose
one,
into
everybody
overdrive.
who thinks Zagrax rolls like poo. He does most of the time, but not this time.
And that is actually impressively fast, because you now go 3 miles an hour, so you get there in just over an hour.
You're like, yeah, you peel out of there at 3 miles per hour, but it's not so much more impressive before you actually give
Considering
an
the-
MPH to it.
When
Com-
we're going through the tundra, it's half a mile an hour.
Yeah, considering how quickly you usually move, this could be a big boost, although it's going to be limited in what it can drag, and we're going to have to work out exactly what that is.
Yeah, the statistics behind it we'll deal with in a later date.
Yeah. But it
At
may well
work,
become
my,
relevant.
My
'cause-
idea most of the time is just using it as a pack animal, and that's more or less it. So for now, at least.
You trying to retire me?
No, I'm trying to make it so you can cross ice without dying.
Yeah, let the moose fall in.
Hey, it just disappears and our stuff goes. Big whoop. I mean, still not
Ugh.
good, but
Yeah. But I don't die.
Okay, so an hour
Yes.
later, you make it to the entrance to Targos. You got to Bryn Shander at 6? I think it was 6.
Yeah, it was 6.
So we'll say that you spent about half an hour there because you didn't really do very much.
wait, 6 in the morning?
PM.
No.
PM, okay.
So it's now 7:30-ish.
So she came through midday.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Ballsy.
Well, yeah. She
Well-
robbed them, and then I woke up later to go get
Yeah.
some soup. And the
You
soup
don't know
was
when
gone.
exactly it was robbed. It's just that
Gotcha.
you woke up when you woke up.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I went to go get some soup and it was no longer there. Sad.
I know. I'm so angry. I will
Tahko
avenge
is-
the soup.
Properly quivering with anger yesterday. From my perspective, it was hilarious, but probably not so much from his.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, considering, I don't know if everybody else knows this, but the amount of money that you said that things were willing to pay for it, yes, very much rage.
Mm-hmm. I turned down a 5K offer like it was nothing. But most important, she ruined my mini vacation. For that,
Okay.
she will
Anything
pay
about
in
Tahko.
blood.
Money means nothing to him, and
So you approach Targos. You see that there are guards above the gate. Targos, of course, being one of the 2 cities in Icewind Dale that is walled. The gate currently is open. It's kind of a half ajar as opposed to fully wide open, so they can slam it shut if they need to. And there is a guard at the top of the gatehouse who's carrying a lantern and shines it out towards you guys. Ho there, travellers! What's your
Hello.
business here?
Following a thief.
Oh, there's none of those here.
No? Well, then you'll certainly want to expel the one that just arrived.
Oh, come down. And with that, the light disappears, and you kind of wait for 30 seconds, a minute, and then eventually he shows up at the front gate itself, and he shines the lantern up to you guys. Thief, you say? How do you know they're
Yes.
here?
Because they rode straight through Bryn Shander from East Haven. We've been tracking them.
And what did they steal?
A pot.
And he kind of fumbles in his clothing, pulls out a notepad and pen. What time was this?
They should have arrived only an hour or so ago. Maybe a bit more. Did you see a woman on an axe beak?
Yeah, there was a woman on an axe beak. Came in actually a couple of hours ago. She the one?
That's who we're looking for. Yes.
Well, did she happen to be carrying or have in her possession a large box, or a rather large box?
Yeah. But she seemed
Yeah,
to know her
her-
business here. Said the right things. So we let her in.
What did she say?
That she was on official town business.
Is that so? All right. Well, we might want to have to speak with your speaker then.
Well, you can find him at the Luskan Arms. Just follow the road down a little bit. Swing off, follow the slope down towards the water, and you can't miss it. It's the biggest structure.
Very well. Thank you.
Enjoy your
Sure.
stay.
and with that, Zagrax just kind of like walks away from the moose, and I think the moose just kind of like meanders off into the distance.
Just walks off with the sled still attached.
Yep.
If you remember, the speaker to this town seemed to know a lot more than he should have. I feel if anybody could arrange the theft of that pot, it would be him.
I do know that I missed many a thing, but that is something I did not miss, is his connections. In considering our mutual friend admitted as much, he knows a lot more than what we think he would know.
And
Well, hopefully he knows where my stew is gone.
Tahko, you do notice as the guard is walking away, there is a notable and audible clink, 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 clink every step he takes.
Clinking?
Yeah, like the rattle of coins.
Oh. Well, I can't really infer anything from that. He could just have money on him.
He could.
But, yeah, I'll head to where he pointed out.
Okay.
So we've been here before too.
Yeah. Is that the
Yeah.
inn that he had mentioned?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, he went in the main inn has more or less become the de facto town hall.
Correct.
That is where he pointed us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Loscan
Okay.
Arms. So as you enter the city, you immediately get the sense that something is amiss. The atmosphere of this place is closed, dense. People glance up at you as you pass and quickly lower their eyes and increase the pace of their step to try and get about their business as quickly as possible. Moving on through the streets, you eventually make your way towards the Loscan Arms, but before you arrive there, you do notice one of the warehouses by the dock has a number of small campfires glowing around its perimeter, with large groups of people huddled around their warm glow. And Tahko, you do notice that several of the people are sitting next to these fires, cradling a bowl of something steaming.
Really? Okay. An easy way to pay people off, I suppose. Okay. First, I'd like to see the speaker before I go and deal with that.
Okay. You approach the Loscan Arms, and it's a little difficult to get to the main entrance because there is a line of people huddled against the wall, their clothing pulled tight around them against the cold. And as you watch, a young child rushes around the corner, clutching a bowl of warm stew. Excuse me.
I'll grab the kid for a sec.
Ah!
Hold on. Where did you get that stew?
They're giving it away around the corner. I was hungry.
Ah, thank you. I'm hungry too. Hungry for justice.
I can see why.
You know how scary that would be? Just kid comes running around and just freaking Goliath and a Dragonborn, both behemoths, just, hey, can you stop for a second?
I kind of imagine Tahko like grabbed his collar or something. It's like, "Yo!"
Yeah, like,
Yup.
picked him up, but
All right, I'll round the corner. Do I see a soup pot?
Before that, the kid that you noticed has smears of blood down one of his cheeks. The clothing he's wearing is a lot lighter and a lot more threadbare than you would expect, particularly in the Icewind climate. And noting that, you look at several of the other people queuing up, and they are similarly attired as if they had to leave somewhere quickly. Several of them are clutching injuries. You notice that several men and women are kind of holding on to each other, one or the other, or both, very often sobbing into each other's shoulders as they are queued waiting for the stew.
Okay. All right.
the real question is, do I notice any of that?
Give me a perception check.
I
Yes.
critted and it's a 17.
Nice.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh, beautiful.
And in fact, with that excellent roll, you do notice that several of the people standing around seem to have obvious signs of frostbite and other cold-inflicted injuries. And one of them, like an entire arm, is just frozen solid at their side. And they've kind of trying to hug it to them, like trying to keep it warm, but doesn't seem to have any real impact.
There are a lot of people with a lot of injuries around here.
I see that.
Something quite big happened somewhere.
Well, let's start asking around. Where is that speaker? I'm heading inside.
Okay. So you are able to enter pretty easily. Well, once you push through the crowd, that is. They're queuing up for a different entrance, but to the same building around the side. And Do. As you step inside, you see a number of people huddled in groups, crowded around their tables, talking in low voices. And as you enter, they've all silent, glancing up at you as the open door send a chill wind inside. Your eye is immediately caught by a tiefling, armoured, sitting in one corner. He lifts a hand at you, one index finger raised, pointing upwards.
I like this guy.
I'll walk over.
He's waiting for you upstairs.
Very good.
I guess that shouldn't surprise us.
And I'll start heading upstairs.
Okay, Zagrax, what are you doing?
I'll follow for now.
Okay. And the tiefling also rises, his armour clinking as he does so, and he follows behind the both of you as you go up. You proceed up two flights of stairs, the tiefling in tow, eventually alighting on the top floor. Although partially enclosed by a wall and bars, 2 rooms overlook the landing, and from one you can see a man in armour warily watching you. The tiefling gestures to the door in front.
I'll nod to the guy, the other guard, as we come up.
And I'll just go and open up the door.
Okay.
Surprising? Nobody.
You find yourselves in a small lobby, and the voice from behind says, "Go on in." He's waiting, and there is another door straight ahead of you.
I go on in, straight ahead of me.
Okay, you enter the chambers, and this room has a real warm glow to it. Like, very often throughout Icewind, there's always a chill, regardless of where you go, regardless of how warm the structure is, how big the fire is. There's always that chill. This is the first time where you've really felt warm, and dressed as warmly as you guys are, you can really start to feel like a bead of sweat dropping down your back. And there is a man currently standing in one of the corners of the chamber with his back towards you. At the sound of your entry, he lowers a brown cloth over something and turns to face you. "Ah, Prudence mentioned you might come calling. Please, have a seat." He gestures to the 2 chairs that are sitting in front of the desk.
I do not sit.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make sure that Tahko doesn't do anything abhorrently stupid. Don't get me wrong. I'm mad about the stealing of the pot, but we don't need Tahko assaulting another speaker, especially this one with armed guards outside who know what they're doing.
Another speaker, it is true.
Just saying.
And you do notice that behind you, just leaning against the open doorway, the tiefling's just kind of standing there watching.
I'm gonna say I'll look at him and give him a nod, like I'm on your side when it comes to trying to stop this oaf.
Jeez. All right.
At least to a certain extent.
Speaker Dearth just heads over to his large chair and just sits in it, touching his fingertips towards each other as he rests his elbows on the desk. "So how can I help?"
My magic pot has been stolen.
"That is very unfortunate."
And I've just seen it outside. You have a lot of refugees here. Where are they from?
They're from Bremen. He was attacked last night. That's all that's left.
All right.
Wait, the entire town is right there.
Yeah. There's about 50 of them.
Do we have a rough estimate of how big Bremen was?
Nope, because you've never been there.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Who attacked them?
We don't know. The messages that we've been getting from the survivors is quite varied, going from strange creatures emitting a blue light, stalking through the town, freezing anyone that were caught by it, to some giant lake monster rising out of the depths and smashing the city.
Shame.
Yes, it is.
You are a very well-connected man, so I'm just going to ask you straight out. Did you steal my pot?
No.
Do you know who did and why?
I know who did, yes.
And do you know specifically why? I see that they're just giving away the food as I was. I see that there's a need for it, but if the town was attacked last night, then they didn't steal it with that intent.
No, it was a civic-minded party who believe in the well-being of this town, and they knew to come to me to see that it was shared out evenly to those who needed it most.
I'm not fond of thieves.
Neither am I. But if something so beneficial falls into the lap of the speaker of a town, you really expect them to turn it away?
No, I don't. However, the pot is mine. I don't mind loaning it so long as it's going to a good use. But I am quite indignant about it being stolen.
As I can very well understand. I am not one who likes to leave debts unpaid, and Prudence did mention that you may come calling, looking for the cauldron. And I would like to come to an arrangement with you that we lease it from you for the time being.
How much per month are you willing to offer for leasing the pot?
I have the sum of 500 gold pieces in mind until the food situation of Targos is resolved.
I'm willing to agree to that, but I'd like it in writing.
Of course,
So I can carry a copy with me.
I would expect no less. And with that, he leans down, opens a drawer, and pulls out a sheaf of paper, takes up the quill pen, dips it daintily in the silver inkwell that he has there, and begins writing out the terms of the agreement, which we can work out off camera.
Okay.
And it just states the cauldron is leased for the sum of 500 gold pieces, and the cauldron will be relinquished to the holding of, and he kind of looks at you and your name.
Tahko. Tahko Mood Killer. Thaklaka.
And how do you spell that?
I spell it out.
Okay. Damn.
Well played, sir.
To Tahko Mood Killer Thunlaka Lager until the pressing urgency of the food situation in Targos is resolved. Full stop.
All right, I'll look it over. One thing I want to be adamant about is that I want to charge him by month, not just one lump sum.
My situation is that we do have limited resources in the town. We are cut off from the rest of the Sword Coast. I can offer you what we have now, but I cannot promise you future payments.
Well, if the town dies, obviously you won't pay me. But after things recover, you'll have the means of acquiring the funds in time.
True.
I'm willing to lease it to you for 100 per month.
That would be 5 months worth. How about 50? At least then we can keep most of a year.
80.
60.
75.
70.
75.
Roll persuasion.
All right.
Or intimidation, whichever you prefer.
This entire time, Zagrax is just like looking back and forth between them. Somebody says something, look at the other one. They say something, look back at the other one.
8.
70.
I think Bryn Shander might be willing to pay a bit more than that.
Bryn Shander doesn't have it.
Fine. 70.
Agreed. And with that, he adds for the sum of 70 gold pieces on a per annual basis, paid at the 7th of the month. If this... how would we phrase this? Again, we'll work it out. How would you handle time? Well, probably renegotiate after the 10 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's what he puts.
Or if he, if the food situation is relieved by 10 months, then I'll just collect it ahead of time.
Yep. And just make a note of all of this. So 70 GP per month on the 7th. Or until food shortage is relieved. Okay.
All right.
And now I'm going to have to keep track of what day of the month it is. Damn it!
You have done this to yourself, sir. Do you know what day of the month it is now?
Nope.
We'll just call it the 7th and move on.
Yeah, there you go. I can collect my first payment.
I think that's agreeable. And he counts out 70 gold pieces from a bag that he has hidden somewhere below and places it on the table, counting it in front of you like sets of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
Good doing business with you.
You have probably just saved a great deal of people their lives, particularly now that we have the added responsibility of the people of Bremen.
Oh, I know. I'd like you to inform the other towns that this soup is here.
I will.
Sadly, we've already informed some of the towns that it's going to be in East Haven, so we'll need to correct that.
I'm sure you can make that arrangement. I had another thing I wanted to raise with you. You've probably noticed the group that have infiltrated East Haven, the so-called Knights of the Black Sword.
Yes.
Do you know anything about them?
I know that they have actually helped the town. They've taken care of the infestation they had of Druger. However, when we were in, and I believe we may have already told you, when we were in the town north of there, Caradenoval, they were not hospitable by any means. Their speaker is supposedly sick, and they turned away medical care.
Yes, I'm aware that they're keeping the speaker hostage. Nobody has heard from him for some time. There are still edicts coming out from the speaker's house when legislation of some kind needs to be passed, and they do verifiably have his signature, but forgeries can of course be made.
Well, that wouldn't be the first speaker that's been held at knife point recently, even.
I am concerned about this Black Sword group. I know so little about them. They mysteriously appear, take a speaker hostage, and then just start spreading influence, and nobody knows where they came from, nobody knows why they are here, and nobody knows who they answer to. And I'll be frank with you, I do not trust East Haven anymore because of this.
The entire town? There's not much to it anymore.
Yes, so I've heard. I intend to call a meeting or call the council of the speakers together in Bryn Shander in 2 weeks' time. And I intend to put forward a motion of no confidence in Duvesa, because she has done nothing about the problems of Icewind Dale. Bremen has just been destroyed. An unknown organisation has taken control of East Haven. And of course, we still have this. And he kind of just gestures around. The Eternal Winter is still here. I think it's time for new leadership, don't you?
don't know what the leadership has attempted to do thus far.
And isn't that part of the problem?
Perhaps. I don't keep my finger on the pulse of politics. I've been out there in the snow, trying to fix things.
Yes, and news of your exploits has certainly reached us here. You and the Dawnbringers have done great things, truly great things for the 10 towns, and you have my sincere thanks for all that you have done. You have been blessed with great powers and gifts, and you have done a lot for everyone. And I wish I could do more for the 10 towns, but I am but a humble speaker, and my realm is politics, and this is where I think we can do the best.
And who would you suggest be the new head of the 10 towns, then?
Well, I actually wanted your opinion on that. Who do you think would be suitable?
Well, definitely not the woman in charge of Dugan's Hole.
I doubt she would even turn up to the council meeting, to be honest.
Yeah.
She rarely
Mention
does.
that word there and she won't.
I'm sure there's a story to that one.
Not much. Just a Goliath and his ways.
And with that, he kind of glances towards Tahko with a bit of a smile.
Can you bring up the world map again so I can remember these names?
Yes, sorry, I thought we were on it. My bad. I've been sitting here staring at it the whole time.
Oh, wow. How nice.
Well, Kerr Koenig has a drunk for a leader. He's a very skilled fighter, but I don't know how good a leader he is. Tourmaline seems to be doing well, but I don't know if it's due to leadership. Honestly, the woman in charge of Goodmead has done very well for that town. I would suggest her.
I have heard very good things about Goodmead. The only thing that causes me concern about that is she's very green. Yes, she's doing well now, but does she have the skills to run the 10 towns? Does she have the experience for that?
I'm sure trial by fire she'll gain it.
I'm not sure that we can afford trial by fire.
Ha! Well, she is running the best of the towns as far as I can see. So, she's earned it in my eyes. The other speakers may have just become too complacent with time.
That is
Perhaps she
possible.
needs someone new.
Possibly. Easthaven is certainly out of the running. That man is an imbecile. Caer Dineval, we've not heard from that speaker. He's quite likely dead. Caer Koenig, as you say, Trovis is a drunk, good fighter, terrible leader. Lonelywood, we've not heard anything from for a while. Tourmaline, I agree, that's probably good fortune and living above a gem mine. Bremen.
Does do wonders.
Bremen, I'm sorry to say, the speaker died last night, so Bremen's currently without a leader.
And without a town.
Yes, but the people still have a voice.
You said they were attacked by an aquatic creature.
Yes.
Well, you share the same lake that they do.
We do, and we have certainly had our own rumours of some kind of creature attacking fishermen and wrecking ships. We've for the most part been spared such things. I mean, there are always things crawling out of the lake, especially at the moment. Losing fishermen is unfortunately just part of the toll one must take to feed your families. But from what I understand, Bremen's been hit far harder by something beneath the waves than we have.
Well, speaking of speakers protecting their towns, what are you doing about the monster?
That is a good question. Certainly gathering information would be the first step. We need to find out what this thing is, where it came from, and why it hasn't targeted us in the same way that it's gone after Bremen.
Well, I'm not targeted you yet. I'm sure it'll get hungry again.
But there are also other towns on Merdualden, Tourmaline, Lonelywood.
Yes, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
No. But what I meant is I could send a rider to each of those and see if they have had similar experiences. Part of the problem facing the 10 towns is communication. There has not been enough of it. I've tried to keep my own lines of communication open, but even that is limited.
Well, sadly, the Dawnbringers cannot be everywhere at once. I'm not sure we can help with that, especially given that not all of us are adept on the water. I've had a close call myself. I wouldn't want to potentially drown, I'm afraid.
No, especially if you're burdened down by armour. That's never a good idea. That's why fishermen, when they do go out, brave the elements and brave the dangers, usually clad only in an oiled coat.
Certainly braving indeed. But unless you want to end up with a food shortage as East Haven, you might want to take care of your fishermen.
Do you have any suggestions on how we may go after such a beast? You are the ones with this kind of experience, after all.
Well, the fishermen at the other town seem to disappear just a few at a time. It might be good to have your fishermen go out in groups of 2 or 3. That way, if one boat goes down, or at least the others can come back and report where they disappeared,
and pick up survivors in the case of an attack.
Yes.
Interesting. I will certainly bring that up with the fishers. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a competition going on between fisher folk, seeing as catchings are so limited at the moment. The first out usually are the most aggressive. But I am sure that with a little proper persuasion, we can make that happen.
Good. Aside from that, just as you said, you'll need more information. I don't know what the beast is, so there's not much I could say on how to hunt it.
Plus, our resident water dweller is not currently here.
Well, I could certainly put a bounty on this thing's head if that were to encourage you to perhaps assist Targos in this matter.
Well, putting a bounty on would certainly help. I don't know if we could do it ourselves, but there are other groups patrolling.
Yes, we've had dealings with a couple before. Very well, I will consider putting a bounty on this thing. I think that bringing in those who are properly experienced in tackling such dangers would be a lot more wise than just sending unarmed fishermen out and just hoping for the best.
Yes. Kelvin's company seems to handle themselves well. We ran into them a while ago. They're holding their own out here.
Yes, I've heard some good things from Tourmaline and Lonelywood about their work. And I also believe that they've been busy in East Haven. There was a murder or some such that they brought in.
Yes, and they also helped kill some dog monsters that we ran across that were harassing the farmers.
Dog monsters?
Dog monsters. But they are back at the towns, I believe.
Then I will have a word with the treasurer and decide upon a reasonable bounty to put on this beast's head, and we will let the experts do what they do best.
Wonderful. Well, I'll get out of your hair then.
And thank you again for your understanding. I am only doing what I must for the people of Targos, as you are doing what you must for the good of the 10 towns. It is a heavy weight you hold on your shoulders, and I wish you all the best out there.
Yes, the people of Targos, and now you're speaker for the people of Bremen.
Yes, need to find a proper way of seeing to their needs. You may wish to speak to some of the people if you are interested in what went on there. As we said earlier, information is key.
I will. Thank you.
Well, all the best. And with that, he kind of looks down, pulls another sheaf of paper out from his drawer and just starts writing on it without looking up.
All right. I'll go ahead and see myself out. You coming too?
Yep.
Okay. You leave the speaker's room, and the tiefling shuts the door behind you, but does not himself follow.
All right. On our way out. Put a bounty on that creature? That's quite a move for a man that owes me 700 gold a month.
Plus, it seemed to work wonders with going after the beasts in the north.
That's true.
Dragged many an adventurer to their own doom. Not that where I know that they set a bounty here, but it's definitely where we heard about the bounty first.
Indeed. Although out on the water it's an entirely different venture.
That it is.
And for it to have
Possibly
eaten an
Vulwin would know
entire-
something about it.
And for it to have eaten an entire town, that's something else. Yeah. Well, let's go ask the folks what they had killed them all, I suppose. And then let's
We
get
could
out
be
of
a
here.
bit more tact about questioning. That would probably be good, considering the state that they are in.
You do the talking then.
Probably for the best.
Mm.
Okay, so you head back out, and there are still a good number of people waiting by the side door in the queue. I mean, the queue has shrunk notably since you arrived.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go in. Probably not the guy, like the guy who had his complete arm frozen like that. That's just not gonna happen. But people who have like minor what's frostbite, go and do like lay on hands, kind of try and heal it a bit. After obviously asking them if they.
I was going to say, you just put your hand out and this guy's just going to jump out of his skin.
Yeah, no. No. Just, walk up and ask if I can assist with their struggles.
Yes, I guess.
So I'll go and do one lay on hands to cure a disease, because I assume frostbite's kind of more of a disease than a poison.
Roll a medicine check. Let's see how effective this is.
Yeah! Oh, hold on. Yeah! 9.
Oh, wow.
So, you remember from your own party's efforts at fixing people with frostbite in the past that it takes quite a lot of power and quite a lot of medical knowledge to really fix frostbite, but like the odd finger or something like that, which is affected, maybe not like properly ingrained, just the touch of frostbite, yes, you can reverse that.
Yeah.
And while they're kind of tears running down their eyes from the pain of suddenly getting feeling back inside that burning sensation, they seem to have opened up a little bit. Like when you first approached, everyone's very close together. Most of them didn't even look up at you coming. They just kind of shuffle forwards whenever the queue moves. But you do get to at least start talking to one group of them.
Okay. So yeah, after healing a guy and getting a group.
We had just heard about the situation that befell Bremen, and we're wondering if you had any knowledge of what transpired.
I mean, they were just shapes in the darkness, prowling through the streets there. Their faces shining with some blue light, and whatever they looked at just froze. Froze solid. And another older man behind his shoulder kind of butts in. First I didn't know what to do. All the people just like freezing in place. I thought they were just scared. But nah. I passed one woman holding a baby in her hands, in her arms. She weren't moving, just standing there. Baby crying. She were frozen solid. Apparently her body had managed to protect the child from whatever it was that done that. That's when I started running. I didn't stop until I got here.
Mm-hmm. We heard mention of a giant beast that came from the lake. Did you happen to see anything of that sort?
No, I didn't. You probably want to go and talk to him over there. He had first-hand experience, but be gentle.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of nods at another man who's just kind of standing on his own 2 or 3 meters away from the main queue, just kind of looking off into the distance.
Mm-hmm. A thousand. Yep. Does he seem to be affected by frostbite that I can cure?
No, that guy he's wearing like proper outdoor gear, unlike most of the people here. Mm-hmm. He's got he doesn't have snowshoes. Well, actually, I'm going to say he's got like one snowshoe, just like under one arm. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, he looks a lot healthier than the others.
Mm. Yeah, so walk up, kind of walk, a distance around and kind of get into his line of vision as to not to completely startle him.
Excuse me, sir. We would like to ask you a couple of questions, if we may.
Hi. Sure. I guess. What can I do for you?
Well, we've heard about the tragedy that befell Bremen, and we're wondering if you could give us any insights as to what happened, as to, at best, learn more about it, and at even better, hopefully have somebody possibly try to do something about it.
I left so many behind. It's my fault that they're dead, It's my fault. Of course, I'm sorry.
I'll go and put a hand on his shoulder.
There's only so much one man can do. Don't blame yourself for it.
Don't blame myself? If I wasn't leading them across that river when it came out from under us, they'd all be alive now. I led that group, and they're all dead because of me.
From what I understand, if you had left them behind in the town, they'd been frozen solid.
They would at least have stood a chance. You can't fight a beast like that.
What was it?
How do you describe a nightmare? It was something enormous. Imagine a ship rising from the depths with teeth as large as a mast, snapping away at you. A long neck leading to a body that's probably the size of the lake itself. Just some shadow beneath the water. It's the teeth, though.
What's the shape of its body? Is it like a fish?
It's like a boat. Big circle.
Boat. Did it look mechanical? Or was it alive?
No, I was definitely alive. Roaring and screaming and tearing and gnashing and biting and...
Calm down. Calm down. I understand. It was something to the sea.
Tahko on.
Yes, they are. But some did survive. And they survived thanks to your efforts. Be glad it wasn't a total loss. And you should tell the speaker of this town about it, lest it happen to this town as well.
I really don't want to talk anymore about it. I don't want to... No. Make a persuasion check.
Alright. Persuasion. Oh yeah, I'm rocking it. Got me a 7.
Just talking to you about this is enough. Just go away. I don't want to relieve this. Just leave me alone.
Okay. Is there anybody else in your stead who could talk about the creature?
And he's
Any of
just
these survivors?
sobbing into his hand at this point. He's just completely ignoring you.
Okay, alright.
Thank you for the information that you were able to give.
No response.
And yep.
Well, shame there.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like he was competent until just a bit ago.
It's bit more information than what we had before. At least it doesn't seem like, as of now, that the sea monster attacked the town. Something else drove the people out of town, and just so happened to right into the jaws of the beast.
I thought they were one and the same. Are they not?
Could be possible, but he never mentioned anything of a blue flame or blue light like the others mentioned, with creatures moving around through town, freezing people.
Just the giant fish over the bridge. How strange. So maybe it was just happenstance that they got eaten.
Either way, it's a poor draw, that's for sure.
Yes, it's some minion of Oral, I'm sure.
Could be some ancient creature that's lived here for longer than we can even fathom. The world doth be like that,
Well,
considering that we met an ancient white dragon.
if there's something beyond the sea beast, we might be able to deal with that, whatever causes the blue light. But I certainly don't want to. With the description of that sea creature, or that lake monster, there's no way I want to deal with whatever that is.
Not unless we can get a couple other parties and somehow beach the thing. But dealing with something of that size, even if he was exaggerating it multiple fold, that's still a very large beast.
Well, I think our business in this town is concluded.
For now, at least.
Another town of thieves. From one to the other.
At least this one, they don't pickpocket you as you walk by.
As
I check my
Zagrax checks to me.
pockets.
Yep, everybody check our pockets as we say that.
Give me an investigation check.
Nice,
Oh,
I'm good
okay.
at this. And that's sarcasm. I'm actually good at this, though.
Alright, let me investigate my pockets. Where are you? Investigation. 10. Oh man, I'm glad you're along. I'm not rolling great.
So yeah, neither
Said
of
that
you,
to me, by the way.
neither of you find anything obvious missing.
Obvious.
Didn't expect
All right.
it,
Do you want to swing by and stop by?
forgot their names, but the ones who we saved at Kirkone, saved the guy and his husband's here or whatever.
Oh,
Forgot their
Garrett.
names. Yeah.
Do you want to swing by and see how they're doing? How Garrett's doing? Since
Yeah,
we're
that
here,
sounds like a good idea.
maybe we can get another vibe on how they think, having lived in this town, what they think about what's going on.
Good call. Good call. I had forgotten about him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're able to find the house quickly enough.
This is the fellow that we saved up
Well,
on the mountain.
Yeah.
Keegan and
I guess
Jarard.
what time is it first?
It is at this
Evening.
point probably about 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still
maybe-
go knocking.
Okay,
Unless
so
we
you,
want to spend the night here.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll go knocking for the heck of it.
okay, so you head over to Keegan's house, and it's
Mhm.
dark. There's a clump of snow that's kind of fallen in front of the door. Doesn't look like it's been used for a bit.
Really? No fire
Mm-hmm.
on inside?
Nothing that you can tell.
Alright.
Well,
I'll give the
looks
door
like
a
they
little
might be
rap.
asleep. I don't want
Oh.
to wake them.
Fair enough. Do you want to spend the night here? It's pretty late.
Yeah, we don't have Vulwin and I, even though it's not the longest of journeys. Traveling at night in the snow is always a bad idea.
Exactly. Well, let's head to the inn then.
Works for me.
Okay, and
We'll check back here in the morning.
the innkeeper says that the rooms around the house as friends of the speaker.
Ah, excellent. Well, sounds good to me. Hopefully no one's coming to kill us in the middle of the night.
Hey.
Give me a perception check.
18.
And Zagrax.
6.
So, Tahko, you wake up in the morning and you are pretty sure you are still alive. Zagrax,
Hmm.
you don't wake up.
Nice.
Because you're just really tired. And you know, you had an exciting day the previous day, and maybe half an hour after Tahko woke, you also wake. Pretty sure you're still alive? Maybe?
More alive than I was when woke up after an assassination attempt in Kaer Konig. Well wasted, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, but definitely more alive.
Anyway, that's probably where we will leave this. I would say it's a good stopping point.